Alright, I'm going to try to make this as quick and concise as I can. Critical damage in Daemon X Machina is not dealt with the same way as it is in a lot of other games. There's no such thing as crit chance in this game. There's no chance involved whatsoever. What we have instead is critical range, and what that means is you're within a specific distance of the enemy. When you engage them, you'll do the maximum damage that the weapon can. That's the crit magnification. Now for this weapon in particular, it's between approximately 6 and 9 meters. If you're closer than 6 meters, you're not going to crit. If you're further than 9 meters, you're not going to crit. This does vary based on the particular role that the weapon has, and it definitely varies by individual weapon type. But for Soryu in particular, it's typically between around 6 and 10 meters. That's going to be your crit window, which is not a very good crit window, but it has insane crit damage to compensate for that. The highest I've seen of any weapon, any melee weapon at least, in terms of crit damage. You do over 170 some odd % damage if you crit within that window. There's no chance involved. If you hit within that window, you will always, always, always crit. Now, Vermilion Knight is an example of a weapon that has a very forgiving window, being, less than 2 meters from the enemy to about 7 meters from the enemy for a melee weapon is perfect. But it has horrible crit damage. Its crit damage is less than 20%. So it's almost not worth building for. But if you wanted to extend its crit capabilities, you have two options. You can either increase the crit magnification, which will increase the crit damage it does, or you can increase the critical range for the window, and that will widen the window on both sides, so you can be both closer and further from the enemy and still hit. For Vermilion Knight in particular, it doesn't make much sense to do critical magnification, because that plus 10% bonus is plus 10% of its base, not plus 10% flat. So it's 18% without this modifier, and with it, the damage bumps up to about 20%. It's not a big increase. Now, if I were to put that on Soryu, it would increase by way, way more. So for this weapon, though, putting it on crit window can be helpful. Putting crit window on to extend that window can be helpful because it's going to make it even easier to crit with it. Now, why you would want to crit with a weapon that's got bad crit damage in the first place, like why wouldn't you just put laser damage or something like that on there, right? Why worry about crit in the first place? Well, that's because, as I'm going to show you in the video here, crits carry over from weapon to weapon. So if you've got two melee weapons and you crit with one, you can combo with the other and it will carry over the crit, okay? So this is just demonstrating that crit damage actually is not, it's not a chance at all. It happens every single time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're within the crit range, you're going to crit. So without any modifiers at all, Vermilion, you can be right on top of the enemy and you're still going to crit every time. But if you back up, you're going to lose your damage because you get out of that window. See, when you're out of that window, you lose your damage. It drops down a lot. But just staying right there doesn't work. Now, with Soryu, it's the opposite. If you're right up on the enemy when you attack, you're not going to crit. But you step back a little bit and your damage almost triples. Now, one neat thing about melee weapons is if the first hit of your combo is a critical, the rest of the combo will be critical too, every single time, no matter what. The same thing where if you use another weapon and then you swap over, if that first weapon's hit is a critical, the rest of the combo from the other weapon will be critical too. So you can see here you're able to do absolutely ridiculous damage with Soryu because it's got a high crit modifier and it's also got infinite combo in its dual wield form, and in its two-handed form. In its dual wield form, it's got a 15-hit combo that ends with a downward cross slash. It always ends on that cross slash, and you can't continue it. Now you can do another 15-hit combo right afterwards, but it won't maintain the critical hit. Whereas the two-handed combo is an indefinite combo. It will keep, as long as you keep mashing that button, it's just going to keep on flailing back and forth, and it's never going to stop. It's also got far, far higher damage. I'm not sure exactly why they decided to make it this way, or what the point of the dual wield form is in the first place, but this is the way to go for it. But yeah, that's it. That's the video. Hope this was helpful.